Now we're going to learn about the DISC personality inventory. DISC is a quadrant behavioral model, and it's based on the work of Dr. William Moulton Marston. So, who really is William Moulton Marston? Think Wonder Woman. Think lie detector. Those are two things that Marston originated in addition to the original idea behind the DISC inventory. So, the DISC inventory is a quadrant assessment based upon one's attitude toward their environment. Are they thinking that they are more powerful than their environment? Or conversely, is the environment more powerful than they are? In other words, they're less powerful than their environment. On the other quadrant, are they looking at their environment primarily positively, optimistically, or on the other hand, are they thinking primarily negatively about their environment? And this was the original work by Dr. William Moulton Marston. So the modern model is constantly being evolved, began at the University of Minnesota in 1972. And instead of the positive and negative attitudes toward the environment, is someone primarily an outgoing person, or conversely, are they more reserved? And those are two aspects of one's personality. On the other hand, looking at another quadrant, are they more accepting, i.e. positive, optimistic about the way things are going, or are they more negative? Now, thinking about the left-hand side of this quadrant, the left-hand side, it has to do with task orientation, while the right-hand side has to do with people orientation, a person's interest in others as opposed to interest in task. This is called the compass drive or the orientation. Are they task-oriented on the left-hand side, or on the right-hand side, the two quadrants are people-oriented? On the other hand, there's what's called the pace drive, the motor drive, in terms of how active they are. Are they faster paced on the top part of the model, the two quadrants there, or are they slower paced on the bottom side? So let's go right into the DISC model. The first quadrant is called the D quadrant, and that is meaning a driver, someone who's direct, decisive, dominant. We can summarize that in terms of dominant person or results oriented. And those people are about 10% of the population. The next quadrant is called the I quadrant, influencing, interactive, interested in people. We would call those persons inspired persons. They're focused on recognition, and so that comprises about 25 to 30% of the population. The third quadrant is the S quadrant, standing for stable, secure, or steady. That's about 30 to 35%. Think supporting when you think S. The fourth and final quadrant is the C quadrant, correct, controlled, compliant, people who are cautious. They focus on reason rather than emotion. And that's 20 to 25% of the population. So, reviewing the four quadrants, those persons who are primarily faster paced, more outgoing, are on the top of the model. That would be the D's and the I's. On the left-hand side, those who are more task-oriented, D's and C's. Right hand, more people-oriented, I and S. On the bottom, the C's and S's are much more cautious and reserved, So you have 4 distinct personality types. Just a word of caution, none of you, when you take the test, will come up entirely one or the other of these personality types. We all have blends of all 4.